Hello everyone, this is Gina Lee from Korvia Consulting. First of all, we are very sorry that we do not have live webinar because everybody's EPIK interview has been scheduled until now, and we do not want one of you to miss this webinar because this is really useful, helpful information about EPIK documents. If you have any further question about documents, please ask your personal recruiter first or post on Facebook EPIK group, then we will help you right away. Okay, then I'd like to introduce you Stephen Harrisley, today's presenter.
All right, hey guys, welcome to our fourth webinar where we're going to talk about the final documents. And this is the last stretch. Congratulations. I know you guys have been preparing these documents for what seems like months, almost seems like a year, but we're finally in the last stretch. So it's almost over, okay? So just hang with us and we're going to walk you through, what documents you need, what additional ones you need, and how to submit them, okay? So let's start. What are we going to do in this webinar? We're going to clear up, as always, any confusion you might have regarding any of the documents. We're going to tell you how to perfectly submit your documents so you don't have to do it over again, and so you get, your preference, hopefully, by submitting as fast as you can. And our third objective is to get you excited because it's almost here. After this, everything will be a lot more exciting and you're going to be on your way to Korea, hopefully. Okay, so let's go to the first thing. First up is the final documents. This is every single thing that everyone applying to EPIK needs, okay? No matter what country you're from, no matter what situation you're in, these are the ones everyone needs. And that's going to be a completed, signed EPIK Fall 2014 application with lesson plan and personal essay. You're also going to need a photocopy of your passport info page, 2 passport photos, 2 original letters of recommendation, 1 original criminal record check that is apostilled, 1 photocopy of your diploma that is apostilled, 2 sets of sealed transcripts, and 1 photocopy of your TEFL, TESOL, or CELTA certificate. Either a printed out of your digital certificate or a photocopy of the one you have obtained. Okay. So now we're going to talk about, this is kind of a lot, but there are additional documents that depends on what situation you're in. If you're a joint applicant, if you're married, if you're applying for SMOE. So bear with us. If none of these applied to you, you can maybe skip forward, but it's good to hang around, just see what everyone else is doing. So first up is the SMOE attachment. If you're applying to SMOE, you need these 3 things first. You're going to need the attachment. And what is that? It's just extra things you need to fill out for the EPIK application. The addendum, what is that? That is, for SMOE, there's extra articles in the contract, in the EPIK contract. It's a modification of the contract. So you need to agree to those extra terms, sign it, and send it as well. Also, you're going to get if you're SMOE, you're going to get the SMOE contract early, whereas everyone else will receive it later. You guys are going to get it early. It's going to be mailed to you by your recruiter. And all you need to do is look it over carefully and make sure you agree with everything, and then sign it and put it with the rest of your documents. Okay, going on to tattoo and piercing sworn declaration. If you guys have tattoos or piercings besides earrings, you have to fill out a form to agree that you're going to cover those tattoos and not wear those piercings during class time. Yeah, you can never, in Korean culture, tattoos aren't really that well accepted, so you have to agree to cover them during school, okay? How do you complete it? Print it out, agree to what it says, and give an ink signature, and then put it with the rest of your documents. Next, if you're applying to Incheon, IMOE, you need to fill out and agree to the housing security deposit. It's just that when you move into your accommodation, you have to pay a security deposit for the house. So there's just a form that you need to agree to paying that fee, okay? How to complete it, print it out, look it over carefully, sign with ink, and put it with the rest of your documents. Okay, next, for those who are married, you need to submit a photocopy of your marriage certificate. This will allow you to use the joint applicant benefit to prove that you are married. And so what you do is just provide a photocopy and put it with the rest of your documents. You don't need an apostille, you don't need it to be notarized, okay? Just a photocopy. All right, if you have not graduated yet, you're gonna need a letter of expected graduation. So go to your college admissions office and you need to get a letter from them that's printed on letterhead, and it needs to state your anticipated graduation date as well as the expected date you will receive your diploma. I know those dates a lot of times are different. There's some gap in between, so you need to get that. like I said before, it's got to be printed on official school letterhead, and it needs an ink signature by an office official at the admissions office or an official school stamp if they have it. Okay. For those that are teachers and have full-time teaching experience, you got to get the full-time teaching experience proof. And what that does is it'll bump you up on the EPIK pay scale, which is always great to be bumped up on any pay scale. So what you need is you need to get an official letter from the school or institution that you taught at. And it needs to include the dates of your employment, how many academic years it was. Remember, it doesn't necessarily have to be 12 months because an academic school year might be 10 months or so. So you need to specify how many academic years it was. It needs to be printed, again, on official letterhead paper and have an ink signature by the office official or contain a school stamp, okay? And the final 3 additional documents are the TEFL enrollment letter. If you are currently taking a TEFL course and you haven't finished it yet, actually, no, I take that back. That's a little bit later. The enrollment letter is, if you're still taking it, you need to prove that you are taking it. So you need to ask your TEFL Institute to send you a letter that verifies that you're enrolled in the TEFL, TESOL, or CELTA class. Print it out and place it with your documents, okay? If you are in the same boat and you haven't finished it yet, you also need to submit another document, which is the sworn finish declaration, stating that you are enrolled in the program and you will finish it before July 15th, 2014. So ask your recruiter. They're going to send you the form by email, and then fill it out and sign it and put it with the rest of your documents. For SME candidates, you need to have your course completed and send in a photocopy of your TEFL certificate. Okay? And finally, if you are a licensed teacher, you need to submit a photocopy of your teaching license. So just make a photocopy and then put it with the rest of your documents. Doesn't need an apostille, doesn't need to be notarized, okay? All right, so now we're going to the documents a little bit. This is why we record the videos. We didn't want to make, people sit through other countries that doesn't apply to them. So you can feel free to skip around these documents. But anyways, we're going to talk about the FBI criminal background check. Well, actually all the criminal background checks, and we're going to start with each country, okay? So for the USA, you need to first obtain your FBI criminal background check. I know it takes a long time. Then it needs to be sent for apostille, and there are 2 things about this. For SMOE applicants, you need to send it directly to the Department of State in Washington, D.C. for your apostille. If you're SMOE, you have to send it there. For non-SMOE applicants, you have 2 options. First, call your Secretary of State for your state and confirm if they will apostille your FBI background check. If they say no, it's okay, just send it directly to Washington, D.C. then. If you really want to get it fast, or you're running out of time and you want it to be over quicker, there's a site that I used when I was a teacher, and a lot of other people recommended it to me, and it was www.uslegalization.com. And what they do is they are a company that is located in Washington, D.C. You send them your background check by FedEx, express delivery. It arrives at their office. Then what they do is they physically walk it into the Department of State and get it apostilled the same day and then send it back to you. So there's no real processing time. So when I did it, I had mine back in 1 week from Washington, D.C. So it's a really great service to use. And if you look to the right, we have 2 pictures of what it should look like. The one on the left is your FBI background check, and the one on the right is the apostille for that background check. Cool. Okay, for Canada, you're going to need to obtain the RCMP criminal record check. You're also going to need to get it notarized by a notary public. And then, since Canada doesn't use the apostille system, you're going to need to obtain a consulate verification stamp from a Korean consulate, okay? So you're going to need to go to your local Korean consulate, show them the background check, and they're going to need to give you a stamp to verify it. That acts as the apostille. You can either mail it or visit in person. And on the right, you can see the stamp as it is in Korean, okay? For the United Kingdom, you guys call it a basic disclosure. So visit the Disclosure Scotland website to find out how to obtain it. And then it's kind of the same procedure. You're going to apostille it. So obtain the basic disclosure, notarize it from a notary public or solicitor, and then send to a solicitor for apostille, okay? And then for Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, and South Africa citizens, pretty much the same. Get a national level police check, and then obtain an apostille from the CBC, for the CBC from the appropriate government office. Okay. So now let's move on to the EPIK application. When you put your EPIK application with your documents, what needs to be on it? First, it needs to be the completed Korvia checked copy. This is the one that your recruiter checked and submitted back to you, okay? Then you're gonna need to physically attach your passport photo to that space on the right where it says you must insert a passport quality da-da-da-da-da. So get some glue. I know you probably haven't used a glue stick in many years, but dust it off, get it out, and apply your photo to that area. And then you need to sign where it needs ink signatures, okay? So remember, don't do a digital sign. You need to do it with the actual ink pen. Okay, moving on. You're going to need 2 sets of official university transcripts. Remember, they must be sealed. They cannot be opened or punctured for any reason. Order 3 sets if possible. Canadians order 5 to 6. We'll tell you why. Because you should probably have some more just in case, for the future, but also to check and verify what is on your transcripts. If you were a transfer student, you need to check if the scores from your first school are on that transcript from your recent school, okay, or vice versa. Because if they're not, you're gonna have to order transcripts from that previous school. And if you have not graduated yet, you're gonna need to submit sealed, unofficial transcripts, and then order new sets once you've graduated and completed all your courses, okay? And going back to why Canadians need 5 to 6, I know that's a lot, that's a lot. But whenever you go to the consulate to get that verification stamp and for your visa, they're gonna ask for additional transcripts for them, okay? So that's why Canadians need more. But order 3 to be safe, and you won't regret it, I promise. Okay, then you're gonna need an apostilled photocopy of university diploma. I made this mistake where I was just like, wow, I can't believe EPIK wants me to notarize my actual diploma. I only have one of these, but actually it's an apostilled photocopy of your university diploma. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to a notary public with your original diploma and say, we need to make a copy of this, and then notarize that copy. And make sure you get a sworn declaration if you live in the United States. I can't verify if this is for every other country, but when I did it, you need to get a sworn declaration saying this diploma is the real thing, it is authentic, and this photocopy is of that. Trust me, the notary public will know what to do. They do this all the time. It's pretty much an oath. Okay? Then you're going to need to obtain an apostille. The U.S., you go to your own state Secretary of State, not the Washington, D.C., your own states. And Canada, it needs to be a consulate verification stamp again. Okay? Since you don't do the apostille, go to the consulate to get that one. And elsewhere, just needs your national apostille. Okay? Third, don't detach anything. The way they apostille and notarize your photocopy, it's really weird, and it's not neat and orderly. It's this really weird thing where they're stamping on multiple papers and then putting it together. So you'll want to detach it or bend it. Just don't detach anything. Okay? Try to get it in there and make it sure it won't accidentally come undone. Okay. So let's move on to 1 photocopy of your TEFL, TESOL, or CELTA certificate. Again, photocopy, not the original. You're going to need to bring the original with you to Korea, but for right now, your submission, just a photocopy, okay? The total hours of your course, remember it has to be over 100 or 100 or more, it has to be noted on your certificate somewhere, okay? And remember, if you're currently still taking the course, you need to get the enrollment letter and the sworn declaration saying you'll finish by July 15th, 2014. If you have any questions on that, ask a recruiter, okay? And going back, we mentioned this earlier, if you're applying for SMOE, you have to have the entire course completed when you submit your documents. You can't submit your documents until you receive your certificate, so you can photocopy it, okay? So just to be clear, SMOE, you have to be finished with the course, and you cannot submit the proof of enrollment or sworn declaration, okay? Okay, and if you have a CELTA certificate, since the hours are not usually printed on the CELTA certificates, you actually need to obtain a physical letter from your institution that specifies how many hours the course was. It has to be a physical letter, it can't be an email, and you can't print it, okay? Whew, okay, going on to 2 original letters of recommendation. You guys remember those ones you sent the scanned copy to your recruiter? Well, now we need the original ones, okay? So submit the original ones with their ink signatures in your package. And remember, if you're unable to obtain the letterhead at the time, you can attach business cards with a paper clip to the left-hand corner, okay? Going right on to the passport info page, you need one photocopy of the front of your passport where all the information is. Color, black and white, that's fine. The passport needs to be valid though until at least 2016, okay? Otherwise you're going to need to renew it before you send in your documents, okay? Also, make sure all the information is legible and clear. Don't try to block anything out. EPIK needs all this information, okay? Okay, and then you're also going to need 2 passport-size photos. We recommend more, mainly because from my experience, when you come to Korea, when you apply for your ARC card, they're going to ask for one. I think when I was signing up for internet service, to be honest, they asked for another one, cell phone, another one. So in Korea, they tend to use these things a lot. So bring some extras. And I know if you go to a pharmacy and you ask for their passport service, it's a lot. It's like 2 photos for $20, and that's ridiculous. So like we said before, we recommend epassportphoto.com. You get 5 on a slide and it costs like $1 to print it. What you do, remember, you take your own photo, so you get a great looking photo against a white background or a white sheet, take it in on a you crop it on the website, take it in on a USB to your local drugstore, print it on the photo machines, and it's really, really cheap, and you can get a lot of them, okay? epassportphoto.com. Okay, so here is your final documents checklist. I really don't think we need to read through all this again, but this is for your reference if you want to check this over. Pause and check it over, or even print it out. Stuff on the left is the things that everyone needs. Stuff on the right is only if you're eligible, things for certain situations, okay? Also, need to mention one thing. If you are from the UK or from Australia, there's one extra document you need, and that is an apostilled birth certificate. You need actually the original birth certificate. If you're uncomfortable with giving up your original birth certificate, you need to ask to them to reissue one. I don't know how long that takes, but just ask for a reissuance, and then you need to get it apostilled, okay? Remember, that's for UK and Australia only. Okay, so how are you going to submit this? First of all, make sure everything's correct, everything's filled out, everything's signed. Then pat yourself on the back, because that's a lot of stuff you guys just gathered. I know it's taken a long time and it made you go nuts for the last 3 months. Anyways, how are you going to send it? FedEx, DHL. These carriers are going to give you a global tracking number, which you can then, a lot of times if you use a service like USPS or something like that, the tracking number stops when it goes overseas. But this one, it's a global tracking number. You can give it to Korvia. If there's a problem, it's a lot easier for us to figure out where it is and what went wrong, okay? And for estimated value, this is new for this year, put under $50. Otherwise, it's going to get flagged by the customs, and it's going to be held up for a couple days, possibly a week, until it gets cleared on our end, okay? I remember our EPIK coordinator was saying that they customs called us and said, hey, we have this, this package, what is it? And it just took a little bit longer, okay? So if you put under 50, it'll be okay. All right, and where are you going to send it to? You're going to send it to Korvia Consulting. You can also put it to send to Korvia Consulting, aka, and also your recruiter's name. That helps out a lot. Second floor of the Hanta building, and 62. This one always trips me up. Nambu Sunhwan-ro, 358 Gil. Okay, so that's the street address. The second floor Hanta building is the building name and floor. Usually that's the second address line. Street address is the first address line. Socho-gu Seoul, that is, put that on the city line, and for the zip code, it's the 137886. Okay. Okay. Whew. All right. So let's see where we are now. We are at the document submission stage. So it's in April to June. This is where you're going to submit all the documents after your interview to secure a position. Remember, even if you pass your interview, it doesn't mean you secured your position. This is when the first come, first serve basis kicks in. You want to get your documents in as soon as possible to secure your preference, hopefully, okay? After this, you'll get placed, and that notification should go out at the end of May, the end of June. Then you're going to obtain your visa in July. And finally, when it's really hot in Korea. We're going to see you at the airport, okay? In Incheon. We look forward to seeing you guys. Congratulations. And that's it. So hopefully this was useful to you. Feel free to play it back. Watch it 10 times. I'd love if you guys watch it 10 times. But anyways, thank you for listening to all that, and hopefully you guys are getting your documents together. So that's it. We'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you, Steven, and thank you for watching this video. We try to explain documents as much as we can, but document preparation is different depending on your nationality, qualification, and your situation. So please make sure what documents you need to send with your recruiter, and have any questions, please ask your personal recruiter or post it on Facebook EPIK group. Thank you very much.